Hey there, fellow modelers, it's Face here with you again. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the status of my Zero model. Well, it's only been a couple days, but I've actually made quite a lot of progress. As you can see, it's basically fully assembled, and the base coat is painted, so I'm actually making pretty fast progress. I'm quite impressed that I've gotten so much done. The cockpit is fully painted up and installed into the fuselage, and the lower and the wings are attached. So basically, the fuselage is fully assembled. All that I have to attach yet is the cowling and the engine, and then do the propeller and whatnot, plus the flaps and the landing gear. As you can see, it's painted in this metallic silver color. This was actually my first time in a long time using Testors metallizer paints. This is their aluminum non-buffing metallizer paint. I used to use them a long time ago, back with my old airbrush, which was an Aztec brush. I'm not sure why I stopped when I bought my new one. I currently use a Posh VL. But I always just found that I usually use like Testors, or Tamiya acrylics, just because they're easy to clean up. You know, just flush it with water basically, do a little disassembly and you're good to go. But I may have to start using this stuff a little more frequently. This painted so easily. You know, the coat went down just so perfect. But what I'm planning to do, the reason why I painted it aluminum as a base coat, is I want to try a new weathering technique, something I've been reading about. Actually, I was digging through my box of magazines, and I happened upon this old insert from an issue of Fine Scale Modeler. It's a weathering handbook. Though why they call it a handbook, it only has two different techniques that are detailed in it, one of which involves the use of pastel powders for armor, and the other one is how to add salt to weather your models. They use a Slave One, Boba Fett's Slave One ship, to demonstrate how the technique works. Basically, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but I've done a little experimenting. This is just an old scrap piece of sheet styrene, and I painted this big circle of aluminum metallizer with it on it. And then all you do, if you haven't heard of this technique, it actually works pretty easily, but I haven't fully tried it out yet, so I don't know how it's going to progress from here. You moisten the surface a little bit, and you pour salt on it, and you create kind of little patterns and textures, and the salt essentially acts as a mask for the paint. It creates a very jaggy, flaked paint kind of texture to the edge, but it kind of, in places, it has kind of a feathered edge. On the back side here, I tried it just on the bare plastic with a little bit of primer, and you can get a good look at that. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, this is just on the other side. This is just the salt on bare metallizer. I haven't painted over it yet because it's not quite dry. It takes a couple hours for the water to fully dry up. So I may wait until tomorrow to try that out. Because I've got to work early, so I'm probably going to go to bed soon because it's pretty close to midnight now. Anyway, so the fuselage is ready to go. I'm going to kind of put on some of these salt patterns tomorrow or the next day, whenever I can find the time. And then I'm going to paint it. I haven't decided what colors to use because the instructions call for Tamiya spray bomb lacquers, and I hate using spray bombs for anything but primer because they're so hard to control. And I don't know how to decant a can of spray paint, so I don't want to try that. So I'm gonna go into the hobby shop tomorrow if I have the time and check out their selection of colors and see what I can find that's a close enough match. And I may do some mixing if I have to. Anyway, enough about the fuselage. I want to talk a little bit about the cockpit. Now, unfortunately, I neglected to take any video of the cockpit, which is actually which is pretty cool in and of itself. But like I said, I neglected to take any video of it before I installed it. As I mentioned in the last video, you can actually install the cockpit from underneath the fuselage after the fuselage is assembled, but of course, obviously, before the wing is attached. So basically, that enables you to fully assemble the fuselage, fix the seams, add all the detail parts, add the canopy, paint it up as much as you want, and then attach it, and then attach the wing after that, which is essentially what I did. But since I don't have any video of the cockpit, I suppose we can remedy that by I'll just show you some photos that I took with a little bit of narration. The cockpit was painted using Tamiya XF71 IJN cockpit green, as called for in the instructions, with some detail paint done using XF16 aluminum and X18 semi-gloss black, in addition to a few other odds and end colors that I don't quite recall. Once those were done, I did a basic wash using flat black, heavily thinned with water. And once that dried, I did another wash using XF9 Hull Red. Not quite as much of it, so it was a little more subtle than the flat black was. Once both the washes were dry, I did some dry brushing using a slightly lightened XF71 cockpit green, lightened maybe about 25%, just to create a little bit of contrast in the raised bits, which worked out quite well. And I'm very happy with the result that I got. I did apply the decal to the control panels, which settled down on their own just fine, but I did use a little bit of Solvaset just to help them snuggle down a little bit tighter. In addition, I did use the decal for the harness, the flight seat harness, which I think looks just fine. Yeah, there was a little bit of additional detail painting doing to the front bulkhead, which I believe is the fuel tank, using XF16 flat aluminum as well as X31 titanium gold. Once again washed with a little bit of flat black and some simple dry brushing, and it worked out quite well. I'm very, very happy with the result I got with the cockpit, and I'm hoping that the rest of the plane looks half as good when it's finished. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. With a little bit of luck, tomorrow I'll be able to get the first base coat, or the first top coat rather, painted. If not, it'll be by the weekend. But overall, I'm really enjoying this build. It's kind of given me a chance to try out some techniques that I wouldn't otherwise be able to use if I were doing just modern aircraft. So yeah, I've had a good time, and I'll probably continue doing World War II era stuff as well as modern. So in the meantime, to everyone out there, thanks for watching, and happy modeling.